Morning, Loz.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Good. How was yours?
Oh, usual. Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do we want to go into it?
If you want, sure.
Oh, just quickly, I'll do the food bit in 30 seconds.
Oh, God, okay.
Okay. You asked. Well, you
No,
sort
I
of
asked how your weekend was, not everything you ate from the moment Saturday morning hit until Sunday night hit. We don't need a menu.
Okay, I went to Confucius Dumpling Zone on Saturday.
You're like, okay, and
That's
then you
all
go
right.
into it anyway.
30 seconds of it. Saturday night, I'll tell you about in a second, the DJing. And then on Sunday, I had Epilogue and last night Q Eats. So good, that's the food out of the way. Saturday night, DJ'd for Nas 50th.
Yes, how was that?
Great, had a good time. The theme was pink, and we did it like pink, the colour pink. And everyone wore either a splash or complete pink.
Yep.
I wore a white and pink shirt.
Nice.
And it was at the Doubletree in the Spinifex room, which is a really cool little room. It's got its own bar and everything. 40, 50 people, something like that, and good night had by all. It was interesting for me as a DJ playing, because Nara's Thai, and playing Thai music, but also a lot of her friends were Indian, so I was playing Indian music. I had no idea what I was playing. People were telling me what to play.
Bollywood?
It was all Bollywood, yeah, and everyone was just dancing, having a great time. So interesting for me, because it's kind of given me an idea. Like, I really didn't know that music, and I still wouldn't know that music, but it gave me an idea. Maybe if people want to have a DJ that plays different kind of music, like, when I DJ, I tell people I can play from the 1950s to current music, right? That's what most DJs say, whatever it is that...
Like the eras.
Yeah, the eras. But no one sort of thinks of going, well, yeah, but I can do Latin music or African music or whatever.
Yeah.
And I reckon I could, dare I say it, bone up on it, on whatever style I needed to.
That'd be all
I'm
right.
just thinking about it. Like if someone said, I'll come and do a party that was something a little bit different, a different ethnic group,
Yeah, give you a bit of a hook.
Yeah, Latin American or, Spanish or whatever.
Yeah, nice.
Give it a go. So it's given me a bit of an idea, really.
Lovely.
Ideas come out of strange places sometimes, but so I had a good time. So that was it. I did a bit of shopping over the weekend and stuff like that too, usual things. And what about you?
Well, Friday, not much. Friday, popped down to the Gillen and stuff. That wasn't there overly long, so that was fine. And then Saturday, just your standard...
So only 3 or 4 hours, not long.
Yeah, exactly. Saturday, just the standard stuff at home.
Yep.
And then went to a friend's birthday, which was really fun. It was a little bit out of town as well, so like they've got a property. So like the serenity.
You know all the cool people, don't you?
So the serenity.
The serenity.
It was just lovely. It was such a good afternoon/night.
Night?
Yeah, Loz had a late one.
No. Bury the lead.
Loz doesn't stay up late. Actually, that's actually wrong. Loz does stay up late. Loz has insomnia.
Yes.
But no, I don't usually stay out away from home that late.
How are you feeling? You recovered or you?
Yeah, fine. Yep.
So this was Saturday.
Yeah, so that was Saturday. So
Wow.
And Sunday, I guess you should say.
Because it kind of rolled into Sunday.
Kind of rolled in.
How long were you out on the property?
Nah, not that long.
You went out all night?
No. So we probably got there at like, I don't know, maybe 3 or so in the afternoon.
Right.
And I think I got home around in between 2 and 3.
So you did a 12-hour.
Yeah, I did it. It was 12 hours.
Marathon.
It absolutely was. It was heaps of fun. In fact, we actually joked because Peter Shea was there too. So we were all
As
out
I'd
there.
expect.
Yep. And we actually were joking about, so like, we had to get home from out there. And as we're sitting there in our camp chairs around a fire, we were like, I wonder, we were going to get a lift home, but we're like, we're not really ready to go yet. Oh, but if we don't go by this lift, how are we going to get home? And I was like, hang on, what time is it? Nigel was DJing. I wonder what time he finishes up. I'll send him a text and see if he can drive out here and pick us. But it ended up being fine because Brody and Pat were there. Now, Brody drove us home, and Brody and Pat, I told them I would do a shout out for them today.
Hello, Brody and Pat.
Because they're from AutoFit 88, which is where the birthday girl works as well.
The birthday girls.
So they're all out at AutoFit 88, and they were kind of having this joke about if they wanted to listen to the show today, they had to get to work super early because it's like a first in best dressed on who gets to pick the station.
Oh, no.
And if their boss gets there first, they'd be listening to Gold.
Okay.
So they were
that's not so
they were
bad.
hopeful. So they could be hearing this right now, or they could not be.
They could be listening to ABC, and we wouldn't want that. wouldn't want that at all.
No, they said gold.
So it's either gold or sun they listen to.
Well, yes, let's go with that.
I don't know if there's not the other.
I don't know if they've got any others in the mix. I don't know who else is choosing what there because it is
no Beachy on the old people station.
Potentially, they did ask what it was like to work with Beachy, so maybe they do listen.
Well, I had we had a guy come out here just before he drops the bottles off.
Yep.
And he said, "Which one are you, Beachy or Loz?"
Oh, really?
And then eventually realised it's Nigel and Loz, and he actually said, "Oh, I love listening to you do the horoscopes and things like that." I said, "Yeah." So he corrected it all, but at first he said Beachy or Loz, and I said, "Beachy's on the other station."
Loz is clearly a lady.
Well, yeah. Maybe people don't know Nigel.
In saying
and Loz.
that, I have met a guy named Loz before.
Have you?
And this was many years ago.
Really?
And it was one of those times where everyone had been out and he'd ended up going back to the house that I was living. So it was my house.
Yeah.
And he kind of said, "Oh, hi, I'm Loz." And I was like, "Oh, that's funny. I'm Loz too." And he thought I was making fun of him.
Uh-huh.
And it took me ages until like 10 people were like, "No, she's Loz too. She's not
Loz as
having
well.
a crack." Like,
not having a crack at you.
Yeah. It was funny. But anyway, round up my weekend. So then yesterday, chill day, obviously, because,
you would have been recovering completely.
Yeah, I wasn't seedy or anything, just a bit tired.
Yeah. But it's energy, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Mr. Loz was having people over to watch some, I don't know, fight, UFC or something.
Oh, one of those things, yeah.
And so I was just kind of chilling.
People hurting
But then
each
I
other.
was really excited because all of a sudden a car pulled up and I thought it was just someone coming for Mr. Loz.
Oh.
And Luke goes, all of a sudden from the other room I hear, "Did you order something?" I was like, uh-oh. I went out. It was like a post van, not for Australia Post, but like Global Express or whatever.
On a Sunday?
Yeah, they get out with this big box and Luke's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I honestly can't remember. I've ordered a few things."
And someone jumped out of the box?
No, it was like a massive Shein order that I did.
Oh, yes. Sheeny shiny.
Yeah, and I only did the order like a week ago. I just can't believe it was already here.
And it came that day?
Yes. Delivered on Sunday.
Because a friend of mine ordered one here in Alice, and it took about 3 weeks.
Usually I'm expecting months. By the time it gets here, I've forgotten I've ordered it, and I'm like, "Oh, presents."
But this one was delivered by Australia Post, and it was just left out the front.
Yeah, right.
On a weekday. Not on a weekend.
Okay.
Wow, you
on a
must,
Sunday.
Did you click for some special treatment,
Nope.
like special delivery
Absolutely
or something?
not. So I was very excited.
lucky?
I got lots of presents through my Shein order.
Right.
Yep.
So you're happy with those?
Yep, great
Are they
Sunday.
good quality? I mean, because people sort of say,
People always ask me about
different
this.
levels, and they model the stuff. Go on the website and model and say, "Oh, this one, see the threads kind of falling off or whatever."
The thing is, so many people have asked me this before. You have to treat things like Shein, Temu, etc. You have to treat them like eBay.
Right.
Shein is not a shop. Shein is an app that connects you to multiple shops.
Of course.
So you could get a specific dress, and 10 different shops could be selling that dress.
Yeah.
So the trick is you have to click on each item, even if they look identical. Sometimes it's even the same stock photos.
Wow.
You have to read through the material, read through the reviews. That's what you have to do.
Sounds a bit too hard. Let's just go down to...
When they're like 90% off,
you bring your shopping centre and get something there,
Absolutely. And honestly, I would more so shop locally, but what I order online, it's stuff that's not available here.
And that is the difficulty in a town like this. Like, at least if you're in Melbourne or somewhere like that, you can get everything you need.
It's not like choosing to order online. I'm like an impulse buyer. If I could, and usually, as we said, Shein can take like a month. So if the options for what I wanted were available here, I want it and I want it now. I would totally spend more or whatnot to get it locally.
The main stores, you've got your Kmarts and your Targets and places like that. They've got a lot of stuff now. They're trying to different styles. They're getting different styles in there.
Absolutely.
Like I'm wearing a footy top. And I don't think Kmart used to do footy tops.
No, they didn't.
And they've got everything now. They've got footy pajamas, they've got footy this, footy that, everything you can think of, scarves and beanies and the works, which is just great, because AFL stuff's always been expensive.
Yeah.
I've always found, like, it's pricey, especially if you go to the ground and buy it.
Yep.
There's always, do you remember as a kid there was always those people would sell flags and stuff out the front. They'd do like almost little stalls.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they were endorsed by the AFL or the club or something. I think by now everything would be endorsed. But
probably.
But back then you could have the little badges that were made that were kind of a bit different to the mainstream badges. That might say, in my case, one-eyed or whatever, one-eyed Collingwood supporter or whatever. You buy little strange things like that. So they always had the kind of cheaper stuff that wasn't endorsed.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to see that you can get all this stuff. But as you say, if you can't get it here in town, like, especially, I know, and this has been the case when I was here years ago, it was people would go to a ball, like you might have a ball for Flying Doctor Service or something like that, and they'd always have to order stuff from interstate.
Yeah, I wish we didn't have to. I've been to a few balls over the last couple of years for Mr. Loz's workplace.
Yeah.
And get fancy balls, and I've had no choice. And I don't necessarily want to order online because something can look great, and then you try it on and you're like, that looks horrible, and they take so long to arrive, then you're kind of stuck. I want it to be able to order online, to order locally, but you can't.
Yeah. Well, look, I guess this is the way the future is anyway. Like we during lockdowns, we all ordered online. Everywhere ordered online, so we kind of
we
gone
didn't really
that way.
have lockdown here in NT.
No, I know, but
thankfully,
but you're already ordering online. But in the cities, everyone wasn't allowed to go to the shops, so everyone was ordering online.
Now
and
people
it was
just got
kind
used
of
to it.
was kind of weird because online was still allowed to function in all of the lockdown periods.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre that you could just continue to get stuff delivered to your door. Deliveries were coming. I always found that a bit risky, particularly given that you know, some guy might have COVID and he's just running around in his van visiting 200 places in a day and spreading the love, you know.
That's it.
Especially the food delivery guys.
Yeah.
That's why if I could, I always tried to go to the food place and pick up the food.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want to have, you know, have that situation.
Yeah,
where
reduce the contact.
yeah, exactly. All that sort of thing. But anyway, we better get to the news.
Yes, cliffhanger will be, come back, stay tuned, and we'll do your next
Another
Cracker Clue.
Oh, clue number 6 coming up. I'll catch you tomorrow. And we're going to do it one more time. I've been told we're going to have another clue tomorrow at 6 a.m. around that time. Looking forward to that as well here on the Morning Scramble.